Hello! I am Kara Sophia, and this is Dirty 20 Gaming. Once again, Kevin is off doing something else, and I'm filling in. And tonight we have a repeat of our treat. We have the finale, unless it goes really long, in which case it'll just be part two. But, anyways, the finale of Poseidon's Promise with Dungeon Master Eddie, who is, over that way. But first, we have the credit we are happy to share where it is due. Our virtual tabletop tonight is Roll20, and we are including music from Ben Sound, Tabletop Audio, Incompetech, and Pixabay. Art assets are from a variety of sources, including Flickr via Pixabay and HeroForge, and the images have been manipulated by our talented art staff. Speaking of Hero Forge, we are affiliated with them, and if you are considering ordering from them for any of your mini or token needs, please use the link down in the panels below. It won't get you a deal yet, but it will get Dirty 20 Gaming a small commission, so please support the channel. And if you would like to be part of our community and our games, join us in Discord, if I can spell Discord, which I can't. There we go. Please join us in Discord and just join in the community and join in the fun. So with that, I turn the stage over to our fabulous Dungeon Master, Eddie. Enjoy.
Hello, and welcome back to Dirty 20 Gaming this fine Monday evening. Tonight we'll be starting back up from where our last session unceremoniously ended. This one-shot become two-shot is called Poseidon's Promise, a dungeon dive under the sea where our party of colorful characters has navigated long hallways, monstrous crab creatures, and some terribly unfortunate puns/riddles. But before we jump in tonight, we'll be starting off by introducing our players. G, how you doing, and where can the people find you?
I'm doing pretty good. You can look at my drawings, I guess, on Gorg the Org. All one word, I believe. It should be the first thing that comes up on Google, so...
Lovely. And Solar, it's great to see you again. What are you up to, and where can the people find you?
I'm still playing Storm King's Thunder on Sundays, where I play Beowulf Blackbane, and we're actually about ready to... Shut up, dog! Get interrupted by a dog. No. We're getting close to wrapping that one up. But otherwise, you can find me in our Discord.
Lovely. Red, long time no see. I assume you've slept at least once since I've last seen you, so how are you doing, and where can the people find you?
Technically, yes, but not for very long. That's okay. I'm still doing fantastic. Anyone looking to keep up with me and my various adventures, both digitally and in real life, you can just hit me up on my Instagram. That's at ediablom. And give me a follow.
Absolutely. Last but not least, Saber, what's the latest, and where can people find you?
Hi everybody, you can find me on Instagram, saber_sensei is where you can find me there. And I'm also playing with Mercs of Mischief. Starting Wednesdays next week, I'll be playing a Death Domain Cleric, multi-class rogue, with a creepy British accent that I'm super excited about. So please do check out those socials as well, and I'll throw the links in the chat in a second.
Excellent. All right, well, with that, hi, I'm Eddie Elfman. I'm an Edmonton-based voice actor. Come find me on my socials, and if you have a creative project in mind, I'd love to hear about it and maybe just talk to you about it. You know, just open up my ear holes and let you in. All right, so without further ado, let's get into tonight's episode of Poseidon's Promise. Last we left off, our characters completed a hastily put together puzzle, with each of the characters discovering a way to scribe their names in an already ink-soaked book. The four of you feel a sudden force as you're propelled through the ethereal plane and plop out right on the other side of this door. The smooth stone hallways continue on at least another 35 feet, with what appears to be a divergence in the tunnel to the left and to the right, and some continuing further as well. This intersection is littered with bones, moss, and mold. The damp, stagnant air is not pleasing to the senses, and standing at the middle of this intersection, first in your view that you can see, is a 9-foot-tall giantkin with intricate set of tattoos weaving in mismatched patterns around his body, and is sporting a great axe over one of his shoulders, kind of looks towards the group. Fuck. There's more civilians. He turns back to the group of you and goes, stay where you are. The floor is trapped.
Works for me.
Okay.
I'll stay right here.
Can anybody check for traps? And Gruith will go, Oi, do I look like a civilian?
I was just thinking the same thing myself. Civilians wouldn't have made it this far.
Indeed.
You notice that on this Giantkin's belt appears to be a symbol of their military hierarchy. Could you roll history for me, please, to know what division they are in?
With my soldier background, could I have advantage potentially?
Do you already have proficiency in history?
No.
You can have proficiency for this. Will be the bonus.
Swift's too busy hiding from the military to figure that one out.
It's a 14 from Gruith.
Okay. With an 11. It's not a commonly seen sigil or representation, and it's not one of the common avenues that anyone would go through in the military. Likely some subset of special forces, but none of the popular ones. None of the ones that people would write about in the papers or in any of the gazettes. And looking past him, you can see that there's two other figures that don't really start to talk, just kind of peer over and look back. We see a human, I believe, wearing a very nice set of armor and a tattoo across his forehead. It's different from the image. It is actually that of a trident. Then beyond him is a very tall male human that is also decked out in some nice armor. Also looks to be matching similar color suits of armor and representation. So they appear to be both more or less. You guys recognize that they're likely with the Hall of Poseidon. You see that they're looking down the corridor into the darkness where you guys can't necessarily see, and just look like they're kind of patiently waiting. Some of them have some sticks that they've been whittling. Some people have kind of a crunched up book, seen some water damage. A lot of them are just kind of staying in one location. You hear some kind of footsteps and maybe some swearing off into the distance in the darkness.
Well, seeing as they haven't attacked us yet, I will...
Can we get somebody to check for traps? It's not exactly good with his strong suit.
Sure. Someone can give me an investigation check if they'd like to check for traps.
Hey, Swift. Seems like a specialty for you.
18?
Okay. Swift, you reckon that the first row north of your current position does not contain any traps. However, as you smell the air, you are brought with the sense of ozone that's left over after a lightning strike. There appears to be char marks on the wall behind you guys.
Oh dear. He will definitely relay that information to everybody else. Not wanting to become any more charred or anything else more than he already is.
Is there a specific pattern to the char marks on the wall behind us?
As you look, it appears as though there are 3 concentrated spots of char marks. One for each column.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was suspecting. So I'm spitballing here. I think the lightning shoots down the corridor. That must be why they're telling us not to move, because it'll hit everyone.
Yeah, I don't want to...
You hear a melodic voice kind of carry across the cavern air as strapped to his back appears to be a middle-aged human with a very nice, well-done beard, kind of kind of struts into view, looking down the hallway, kind of turns down and goes, "Oh, see, they're not civilians. They're here to help us. Here to help us with the. Are we calling it a riddle? Are we calling it a trap? I'm not exactly sure what your professional opinion is, Zaka." And the giantkin just looks at me and goes, "Shut the fuck up. Let boss do job." And the gentleman with the loot on his back just kind of nods to all of you and tips his hat that doesn't exist. You can step forward if you like. It's possible that you injure anyone that's standing in this way. And he steps back, kind of around the corner, but still in the light a little bit. Not the light, but your guys' field of vision.
Okay, well, I guess I will cautiously kind of step forward and maybe angle off to the left towards Zaka.
Okay, I would like you to move tile by tile, please.
Okay, I can do that. Go here.
Okay, that is a safe tile.
Excellent. And
I can keep track of that as the DM with a nice green polyline, I think.
Beautiful.
Yes, I can do that. I know how to do
I'll
art.
call out to those ahead of us. Is there a specific path that you can encourage us to come towards you so that we don't end up hurting you inadvertently as we attempt to come aid?
Zaka looks and thinks for a moment. It's been long. I cannot remember. Just stay where you are, and maybe we can all get out of here alive. Okay.
I'm gonna go
that's
there.
also safe.
Mm-hmm. And here.
Also safe. Ooh.
And again.
I would like you to make a dexterity saving throw. As you step on, you see Zaka's like kind of like staring off into the distance. You're like seeing more and more. I'm gonna slowly illuminate, I suppose, the area. I think you can make out the other character at the far end that looks with their hand
just barely.
This skinny elf, a little bit darker skin, and looks to have kind of like a half cloak over one shoulder, just kind of staring up at something and just with a quizzical look on his face, or just kind of going back and forth, not really like talking, maybe muttering some swears. And as you step to the left, I will need 2 NPCs to give dexterity saving throws, and you as well, as you hear.
Yes, and mine is a
down the corridor from the north.
Natural 20 for a total of 23.
Okay. You see Honda, one of the members of the Hall of Poseiden, duck down very quickly and miss the lightning bolt. And you see Zaka in the middle of the corridor and just start to shake as he gets electrocuted.
Oh dear.
Taking 8 points of lightning damage. And with that, you also manage to just go into like a perfect split. Which one are you moving to next? You feel the ground start to tingle again as Zaka turns and goes, "You get off that and then stop moving."
I'll move to the right.
That one is safe.
Excellent. I will do. So if it didn't hit Onyx, then that means.
Onyx wasn't there previously.
Okay.
I believe Onyx just moved to that.
over one spot. Yeah.
Yes.
Good call.
You see that they're watching you and kind of switching which column they're standing in as you're moving.
Yes, I will go over here then.
Okay. Are you trying to do this while Zaka is not looking at you?
I don't care if he's looking at me or not.
Okay,
I'm
sounds
genuinely
good.
trying to approach him.
You see that. Well, first off, you do not get zapped by any electricity.
Nice.
As you cross safely down this corridor, and you're beginning to see more and more of this area. I'm just going to see how much I can illuminate. Let's see, snap to center. just a little bit past. So I'm not going to move it just yet, but you can see that the hallway kind of continues a little bit.
Yeah.
And Zaka kind of yells down the corridor to the elf at the north end. Goes, Boss, can I be bodyguard? And without even looking back, the person at the north end of the chamber goes, Yes, Zaka, go ahead. And you see that Zaka steps one to the right and takes out Zax. Looks as though
All right.
he is readying an action.
Mm.
Sir, he looks like he is setting up a swing. Stay.
I would very much like to fight you, like a lot, but maybe this isn't the best time or place. So how about you let us help you instead of treating us like children, and we can all get through this sooner and get paid. Sound good?
Roll persuasion.
Sure. Let me see. I choose you. That is a 15 plus nothing, so a 15.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. Zaka kind of like looks at you, recognizes that certain individuals they like to admire other men's like capabilities of like just like a nice like street brawl, kind of like gives you a one over. Checks out your muscles a little bit and goes, Correct, I would like to fight you. Maybe not here. And he kind of puts his axe back down low. Goes, all right, I think, and he's going to point towards what he thinks is safe.
Okay.
And I will do that with a pink line.
Obviously, the one he's standing on is safe too.
The one he's, and yes. I will add green to those two that he has stepped on.
Yeah,
Would you mind adding a red one to the one that set off the trap?
Yes, I will. With memento. I will move it from the GM layer to the token layer. Not token layer, I need background layer. Well, 20 is very fun.
Okay. Well, here goes. Steps forward.
Safe.
Excellent. Can you step back to where you were before?
Yes, sure.
Okay. And I'll move there. And I will try the other one that he thinks is safe.
That one is also safe.
Nice. Now I think I'll move back in the middle, so you guys might want to back up and adjust accordingly. All right. So yeah, I think I want to move to...
I will reveal the rest of the areas.
Nice.
You can see down that hallway, and you can see down that hallway. And then you can see the end of the room, I believe, at that distance. You see that at the very far end, give me a perception check. Swift and Guruth are probably within the range to give it a nice little check. Perception 15.
It is a 14 for me as well, actually. Or, 15.
Yeah. Between the two of you, and kind of like sharing details of what you can gather, it appears to be stone chiseling that shows a humanoid figure with a large bushy beard and like a receding hairline, and there appear to be lightning bolts around this character. There are cherubs above the figure, and the figure reminds you a lot of give me a religion check, the four of you.
I mean, I personally don't need a religion check to know what that means, but Guruth does, so...
7.
That is a 18.
18 for Guruth. All right, you recognize this as Zeus, brother of Poseidon.
Wow, shocking.
And it appears as though, and Ronnie also takes in this, having filtered through, I guess, a lot of religious books.
Ronnie's got an obsession with Zeus, I guess.
Maybe.
I mean, doesn't everyone? You seen him?
So it appears as though the gentleman at the north end, Yakor, is trying to read something properly. To the left, you see an additional figure. They have... I'll bring up their image, actually. They have about shoulder-length blue hair, some wicked on-point mascara, and these two sets of bracers in this nice red and blue robe. They also appear to be of similar order from the Hall of Poseidon. And their name is Lore. And you see that they are quite casually, not really looking at their fingers, but kind of making the gesture of being bored, and just looks over at you and goes, "Oh, more fun."
All right.
How long have you all been down here trying to do this?
Some of us days. Some of us more recently. You all came in on the low tide, I assume.
Obviously.
Yeah.
All right, Honda, Dellen. I'm only going to give you a few more hours, and then we have to get on with it to this corridor. I don't care what you're looking for. And Honda kind of looks around the corner, is very careful not to touch the square north of where Guruth is, actually. And goes, "Yes, we're going to do it. We just have to figure out everything that is in this chamber. Your hallway keeps going on. So does Faradan's, okay? This is the first secret we gotta unlock." And Lore just is shaking their head and just shrugs her shoulders.
Okay, so since you guys have a head start, how about you give us a rundown of what you know, what you figured out so far while you're waiting here. Maybe we can help figure this out faster.
Yakor does a twirl, a 180 twirl, and their half cape kind of swivels with them. Who has a passive higher than 14?
Do not
My
believe
passive.
that is high.
Passive is 13.
13? Saber?
No, 13.
Okay. Yakor kind of swivels around this very well-dressed elf, kind of ashen skin, and these kind of yellowish eyes, just kind of looks down and goes, "I am having so much difficulty focusing with all these added voices. It took so long to get 3 different parties to agree to let me take the lead, and now there's been a 4th introduced. So, if you'd like to take the lead, please go right ahead."
Why
There's
does
a
there have to
stable
be a
advisors.
lead? Who cares who's in charge? The idea is we get through this together and get out alive. I don't give a shit if you're in charge or I'm in charge or they're in charge. Just tell us what's going on. You can keep your badge of honor to be in charge.
Give me a persuasion check at disadvantage. You're talking to a military commander.
Fair enough. I'm not in the military, though. Damn, that's too bad that's disadvantage, because that was a 20. How about persuasion, you said? 13.
13. Saber's character, Onyx, looks towards this figure, and you see the classic hand movement underneath his half cape. You see his hand go for a holstered pistol, and very quietly, something that you recognize in a few different gun battles that you've partaked in or read about in your son's magazine. I think it was called Bang. You see him click the holster undone. Large revolver on his thigh.
If
Right.
he's perceiving us as much as we're perceiving him, he would have seen me do the same thing.
Okay. There's a brief moment as you see Yakor is looking at Guruth, but he begins positioning his hips a little bit more towards Onyx. To get ready for a quick fire.
Much like I told your friend Tiny over here, as I point at the giant, there's no point in fighting now. I'm not trying to be confrontational. I'm trying to point out there is no point in disagreeing. We are all stuck in the same situation. I am simply suggesting that we work together. That might be more
I fire a
conducive.
glance at Guruth. I think you've said enough. And I look at Yakor and I say, he's got a point. We don't want to take your role as leader. We just want to help. And I'm hoping that will give back the 20 to Guruth.
Swift is going to tap Zaka on the shoulder and point towards Lore and say, safe to go through that way?
I think so. There's other traps to the left. Just be careful.
Yeah, so
And
Swift's going to
Lori kind of like looks and goes, yes, it's safe. The middle hallway is just for the brother of our god. This hallway is for our god, is what she's trying to beseech, like Honda and Dellen. And Yakor continues on and goes, all right.
So what if there's
You can
water-based
approach.
traps?
You can approach Orc. That's fine.
Very well. And I will step over here then.
So safe.
All right. Any other safe-looking spots? I kind of gesture towards Honda and Stellan.
Dellon looks at you and goes, yes, it's a straight shot. To Yakor.
Excellent.
Not sure about past it.
Thank you. So I still need to go one spot at a time then, or can I
You
just... Cool.
They're telling the truth, you find, as you slowly, monotonously go square by square. Swift, I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw. As you cross, as you begin stepping, and Lore kind of like looks towards you. And she
18.
steps. 18 with your con save? Okay. Lore kind of steps up to the left, and you see that apparating on the far left wall is a massive icicle, and it goes shooting towards you. With an 18, however, you manage to not dodge, but kind of just like turn your backpack and shoulder the cold and not get terribly damaged by this blast of cold, wet energy.
In hearing this, I get distracted, so whatever that means for other people with holsters. And I look at Swift and I say, check for traps! It's what you're good at!
He's going to hiss it on it. And definitely do an investigation check. Did I take any actual damage from that, though?
No, you did not. You passed the save.
All right, no,
And-
I'm just making sure, but I'll do an investigation check for the traps.
That's good.
17.
17. The one to the top left of you appears to have a runic marking on it. It's very faint, but it is a glyph that, if stepped on, would likely activate.
Yeah, he's going to avoid that. Just go right
Okay.
here. That's where Laura
Red,
was standing
draw.
a moment ago anyway.
Red. Draw red. Oh no, that's red. Righty. And shift back up to Yakor for now. I'm not going to mess around with the map too much.
As I approach, I go, forgive me for causing tensions. As you may have figured out, I am not exactly a people person. I tend to be a little more predisposed to solving problems with my fists.
He guffaws.
What do you see with this door so far? Or are we not close enough yet?
Well, do any of your group read Celestial or any of its sub-languages?
Opposite for me.
Thief, cat, and undercommon here.
Well,
Unfortunately not.
well, best that I can dictate. And as you get closer, it appears you see this like kind of like very nicely well carved, gorgeous portrait of Zeus, the two cherubs. There appears to be a difference between two cherubs. One of them is holding a stone harp that is carved into the stone, and the other one is holding a golden harp that looks to not be made of the stone. He looks at you and goes, well, the inscription reads something along the lines of prove your worth or be mighty or something along those lines. So Zaka already tried a feat of strength. Didn't necessarily go his way. Do you have any other ideas, or would you like to just punch the wall?
Looks like you got a bard over here. Musical instruments might be helpful.
Faradan kind of like lets Ronnie speak for a moment. Go ahead, Ronnie.
I mean, don't know what any of the stuff is. That Zeus guy's pretty cool, but maybe I can try something. And yeah, I don't know.
Remembering the way you play music, I'm kind of shaking my head that was the wrong bard I was indicating at, but music is music, I suppose.
You don't need good music. Solve puzzles.
Let's just hope Zeus doesn't have an ear for fine music.
Can I do an investigation check to decide what I want to do? Because I don't want to waste a spell slot and not find anything out. Do a musical investigation.
You can
check?
cross. You can cross to. We'll get you up there as you can
Alright.
like take a better look at the door.
Yeah, sure.
And as you approach and kind of look at the depiction of Zeus, and you rolled quite well on your religion check. So you likely know a little bit more about the pantheon, and you know about Zeus's son, that is part human, Hercules. Feat of strength would have been your first guess, but it I don't know. Yeah, give me. You want to do a musical investigation check? You can give me a investigation check, and you can use your charisma instead of intelligence.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll see if as you look to see if there's any indications on notes or any representation of any of anything in particular. Any chord progressions that are written on.
17.
The harp is peculiar. It is not. Doesn't look like it has different lengths or tensions set, and it's quite old. It's not something that you would play. It's not something that you would play in like as an instrument. It looks to be kind of just either ceremonial or just for ornate, just for show. But you see that Yakor keeps like looking at it. It would give one specific tone if plucked.
No matter what string.
No matter what string, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
No, you.
Are there any other sort of markings, like along the walls? How many? Yeah, like that are representative of how many strings Or on the
There are
harp?
3 strings on the harp, but there does not appear to be any additional representation of like numerology of 3, besides the 3 hallways that you guys have encountered.
Fair enough.
Has anyone looked at the other doors yet?
Oh, there's not other doors. The hallways just continue. This was supposed to be the first thing that we would tackle, and then we would move on from here.
What did your bard try?
Oh, he's not mine. He's just a wandering dog. And you see Faradan kind of like poke his head around the corner and goes, well, I don't necessarily take orders from a dictator or fascismo. Sorry, I'm not exactly familiar with your kind. And
What if we ask you really nicely?
you can give me an intimidation check. Onyx. That was an investigation check. But a 3 nonetheless. He looks up and goes,
Intimidation, I have advantage.
oh, okay.
I'll put it as normal roll though. That's a 22.
Whoa!
Instead of a 3, a 22. Okay. So maybe something about the way that the bioluminescent light kind of like hits your horns and your stance as you look like you're getting ready to shoot. Some different visage kind of covers your face. And Faradan, who is a very cool, calculating person, still holds his strong demeanor, but goes, well, I suppose that I could give it a try, but not because you asked me to, because I feel like doing a favor. And begins kind of like plodding along and like steps past Dalen and kind of like gives her a bit of a nod, like a knowing glance, and she looks away and just like shakes her head. They seem to have some running joke between the two of them. And he goes up and he looks at the door. So Ronnie, did you mention the things that you learned about the harp?
I did not. I kind of just assumed I would relay that, but
Okay. All right. Yeah. If you did relay that, then Faradan would have heard. Kind of looks up and goes, "Yes, he's correct. That's quite strange. It looks like it's released, so I'm not sure if this is necessarily a door or just some way to give someone the harp." You can roll an Arcana check as he mentions that, Ronnie. And Faradan's going to do the same. Okay, an 18. And Faradan. So as you guys both hum and haw, you and the NPC, he kind of starts off the conversation. He goes, well, you only really need a specific note or vibration or frequency for one type of thing when it comes to anything powerful that's arcane that would be like worthy of receiving as a gift. And you pick that up as he's just starting to talk, and you realize there are certain spells that allow you to shift to other planes in existence in your guys' world, or beyond your guys' world. And you need to have a tuning fork or something that vibrates at a very specific frequency. So it's quite possible that this is a version of a tuning fork, that if they were to have it, they would be able to cast plane shift if they have the spell and move themselves from the material plane to whatever plane this represents. But also knowing your religious experience possibly is a ticket to Mount Olympus. He looks at you, and he stopped talking. He gives you a... Could you roll insight for me, Ronnie? All right. So as Ferdinand kind of like looks at you, you see his body language change a little bit and his hand kind of like shift behind his back away from Yakor as he turns to Yakor and goes, I believe this is just a diversion tactic. That's Harper's of menial concern. I suppose if you want like a fine thing to put up onto your mantelpiece, but this is just a trinket. And he gave you a knowing look of, stop talking, this is worth a lot of money.
Can I roll an insight check as well?
Yes, you can.
Perfect, because I don't trust those damn bards.
It'll be a higher DC because you weren't like in the back and
Yeah,
forth conversation.
yeah, that's
but absolutely
fair enough. How about 15?
15. Although that is what Ronnie also rolled.
Higher
You're
DC,
like
yeah.
you're being on the same kind of wavelength. You're like something's not exactly right here, and Yakor looking at the bard, kind of. Well, I suppose we could continue on to another hallway or something.
Perhaps we
I just-
can circle back.
I suppose. Well, Pepra, Zakra, what do you want to do? And Zaka kind of like pipes up. Actually, no, Pepper hasn't talked yet. This maybe about like half a head taller than Onyx appears to be a female tiefling, about mid-30s, with a wicked set of armor and a bloody axe. And she goes, well, I see that there's things to kill on the east hallway, so maybe we go down there and see if we can work our way into Hades. Or work our way to Hades. And Yakor... Suppose we could give that a try for a couple hours. And looks at Girth and Ronnie. What were you gonna say?
I could do a trip to hell. Be a nice change from all this damn water.
Okay. And Lore on the west hallway goes, you hear that, Honda and Dellen? It's just a trinket. Can we now get on with the reason we're here? And see that Honda moves over and Dellen moves over. And I'm gonna move the other characters kind of like one square at a time. Or kind of passes by Guruth. Leaving Faradan, Ronnie, and Guruth in the north hallway. Zaka and Yakor and Peppa are gonna try and make their way to the east hallway. Are you planning on following them, Guruth?
I am indeed.
Okay. What is the rest of the party doing?
I'm sticking with Lori. I don't know. He kind of hot, swift, so I ain't seem like a nice guy.
And as I pass Onyx, I'll just say maybe we should split up at least for the time being if Swift is going the other way. Maybe circle back before we get too far. Just split the difference, explore a little bit.
I mean, everything within me is telling me that's a bad idea, but here at Dirty 20 Gaming party. But I think you might have a point, and
I wouldn't
just holler
suggest
at
it
me
if there
you need me
wasn't
to get you.
others here. Yeah, sounds good. At least I can trust some people here to have my back.
I got
As
you.
I kind of look over at them. So yeah, I will continue to follow those three then.
Hey. All right. So, I think what we're going to do is, because this area is still trapped and not properly investigated fully, at least to your guys' group, we're going to move. We're going to move 3 squares, each of the characters, and then I'll move the NPCs 3 squares. So we'll start off with Swift, if Swift would like to move, or Swift staying put.
Let's see.
Keep checking for traps, Swift.
Yeah. First thing he's gonna do, yes, is do an investigation check.
Nice.
Okay.
That's a nat 20.
Lovely. I will draw on the map. I will draw the traps that you can see within your immediate vicinity. Those are the ones that you can make out
Mm-hmm.
currently.
Cool. So,
Just Laura's watching Swift nimbly, like.
so that's 1, 2, 3. So that's the only one he doesn't know about.
Yes. And it appears as though nothing happens. To you, at least. All right, let's do Onyx next.
I'm gonna move 3 squares closer to Ronnie, which I know are all safe.
Okay. Guruth.
You said 3 squares at a time?
Mhm.
All right. Who knows those trace?
Okay. And Ronnie.
Do I know if there's a safe path to get to the heart?
No, you do not.
Can I check for traps?
You absolutely can. Give me an investigation check.
Oh boy. No whammies. Hey.
19. You can see that there is, out of the next 2 rows, you can see that there is a trap right here. But beyond the next 2 rows will require a different roll.
Can I keep making checks, or is that...
We'll say that you have to move up to 3
Fair-
squares before we
fair
get back
enough.
to
Okay.
you. All right, so you kind of skitter towards it, getting closer. You see this nice, lovely looking harp. Onyx. Oh, Onyx already moved. Guruth moved. All right, now I can do the NPCs. Lore is going to stay not necessarily next to Swift, but just kind of keep an eye on Swift. Not really taking the lead, but happy that someone is finally going this way. Honda is going to navigate this way.
Swift will pass on his information to Lore and then Handa as far as where the traps are. The ones that he knows about, at least.
Lovely. And they, Honda and Dallin seem to appreciate it quite a lot. Lore seems to be like laser focused towards the north and goes, yes, yes. Kind of like marches forward. Now glad that her party is joining her, seeming the conversation between Faradan, Ronnie, and Yakor has deemed the middle passage not very important. Zaka and Yakor all accidentally step on traps.
Nice.
As the 3 of them go towards the eastern hallway. Guruth, I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw.
Fine.
Ooh. That is a 10.
10. Okay. Dellen failed. Yakor also failed. All right. So you see, or more aptly, you hear a section of the far east wall go in, and it creates this small cavern, and then this loud ringing noise begins to emanate from this almost kind of like conal speaker and impacts a straight line. This trap seems to remind a lot of people of the cantrip Toll the Dead, and you take 7 points of necrotic damage.
Oof.
And so does Dellen, and so does Yakor.
And that means my max HP drops as well, correct?
No, it does not.
No? Okay, cool.
That would be a wicked thing for a cantrip to do.
Yeah, that would be mean.
And then Honda and Zaka, a similar thing happens. It appears as though they have triggered a trap that is more on the Eastern related. Honda fails. Zaka fails. Pepper fails. I'm rolling incredibly low. You guys might be very lucky tonight. And they each take 7 points. Let's say. 7. Alrighty. That was them. Faradan is going to 2, 3 jump on this set of rocks that has fallen onto the ground. He just kind of look up at it and he kind of whispers to Ronnie. He goes, "You recognize what that thing is, right?"
Yes. So do you. I assume.
I assume. So we don't tell about the Hall of Poseidon about it, and we split it 50-50.
Well, sure. We both
Am
think
I
it had
within
it.
range to hear this?
Give me a perception check.
Why do you have to start the conversation? Ronnie was paying attention.
13.
Honestly, I rolled like a 6 for his stealth. Ronnie rolls stealth.
Shit.
So you might hear half of the conversation, which is
50-50.
Stealth, yeah?
Ooh.
Well,
Wow.
Oh,
Jeez Louise, you have a +10. Okay, so as you kind of like see that Ronnie is moving his jaw a little bit, but you can't really make out the words that he's saying. But you
But I
obviously
heard Faradan
recognize that
say
Faradan is like,
50-50.
I'm gonna probably sell this. You don't know if Ronnie agreed or not, but they're both eyeing the golden harp on the wall. Okay, I think we'll do the next round of movement. Swift.
I'm gonna do another investigation. That's been doing so well for me.
The next row you do not think has any traps. Would you like to step forward together?
1, 2, 3.
See Laura kind of 1, 2 goes to the other side of the hallway. And neither of you have triggered a trap in these last 2 rounds.
Nice.
End of the hallway. You see a solitary figure. You see a solitary figure head down a large pike. Seems to have a bit of an ethereal glow to the body of this humanoid. Head kind of lolled. Just standing. And behind him, you see a shimmering wall that reminds you of one of the curtains of water that you passed through previously.
I just got dry.
Alrighty.
Either way,
Let's
keep gonna go.
Guruth.
Suppose it's my turn. I'm assuming, I guess obviously the traps were triggered on the spots that they currently are.
And I will draw that now.
Okay. And did they I would have seen them go around the corner. So did I see them kind of just go like straight in the directions that they have now?
Yeah, you see where they currently are. They're kind of moving at a similar pace, and they've flanked out as. If you move a little closer, I can describe a little bit more of the senses that you get from this hallway.
Okay, fuck it. Just 1, 2, 3. There we go.
As you get closer, you hear the sound of shuffling, of skin and fabric, the water kind of getting sloshed around in a very haphazard, cacophonous way, and also a series of things and moanings of pain. And you see that Zaka is kind of like stretching and readying up his battle axe, and Pepra is kind of taking a few practice swings, and Yakor is countering the bullets in his revolver.
And as they're doing that, can I just pop a healing potion real quick?
Absolutely, you can.
Excellent, thank you.
Let's go to Onyx next.
Well, that's funny. That's what I was about to do.
Great minds think alike.
Can you? Yeah, I guess so. Can you remind me the 3 squares ahead of me? Do we know if those are traps or no? Was there
Those are
a
safe.
line?
Those 3.
Those are safe. All right. I am gonna get pretty close up to these 2, and I'm gonna give a side eye to Ronnie, but then look to Fairdan and say, if this is just a trinket or a token, what you still doing here, boy?
Oh, just because something doesn't have value on the market doesn't mean that it doesn't have value in my heart.
I'm gonna try this insight thing again. Damn it if it doesn't work. Damn it. 8.
With a 27, you know he's lying, so 27 deception. He kind of just looks at you with that buttery smooth like style. He's been soaked so many times just by virtue of being in this cave. Maybe he's been here for days. His beard is still perfectly kept together, and he's just so freaking slick. It's kind of annoying. Are you
Ronnie, what are you doing here?
working together?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, it's fine.
I just
No,
want to
it's
check out
not
the heart.
fine.
Seems really weird that there would be a harp with 3 strings. I want to see if there's any tension. Doesn't look like there is, so I don't know. You see the kind of instruments I play, maybe this would be a great addition.
Reach into my bag and pop that healing potion. Fairdan, finish what you were saying.
Oh, I just wanted to know if the 2 of you are acquaintances. How long have you known each other? Do you get along well?
Better friends than you and I.
Well, that's because you do not know me, friend. We should hang out after this.
If we both survive, I will buy you a drink, but you tell me, honestly, what you're doing here.
Roll persuasion.
$19.
You know the way to a man's heart is ale. So, I believe that this harp might be worth something. And your compatriot also recognized this, so as opposed to fighting for it, we will work together and not work with those cutthroats.
So it's about the money, not about the information?
Well, the people who hired me, I imagine might be the same people who hired you, but they want information about Poseidon. This is Zeus. This is auxiliary information. In my eyes, at least.
Ronnie, you're in it for the money, you're in for the music.
I mean, a little bit of both. Kind of have to feed myself. I only really eat cheese, so that's a bit of a problem, but we don't need to talk about that right now.
The prices have gotten quite expensive in the recent couple of years.
I know, right?
All right, let's get this over with. Let's get you your harp and go follow the others.
All right, and with that, Ronnie, what would you like to do on this round?
Search for traps.
Okay, roll an investigation check.
Oops. There it is. One moment.
How you doing, chat? It's been a minute.
Hey.
Nearly 2 weeks. All right, with an 18, you recognize that there is one more trap, as well as so
Oh.
there is one more trap that is immediately in front of you. You do not think that there is any traps on the second row as well, away from you. And this statue does not necessarily have any footholds or handholds that are specific that you think would like be used for like a feat of strength.
Yeah, I'm not so much concerned about that as I am with something else, but I
Okay.
will move my character and can I I am now realizing as I'm about to grab this thing that wait, can I make Ronnie do an intelligence check to see what he thinks is a bad idea?
Sure,
Instead of
absolutely.
me imposing? Okay.
I like doing that all the time. Because, you know, I'm just so
I don't
knowledgeable.
think-
More knowledgeable than my characters, obviously.
I like to think Ronnie hasn't seen Indiana Jones, so
Ooh, yeah, maybe he hasn't seen that play yet.
what did I say? Intelligence?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ronnie's a pretty. No, he's not that smart. He's smart enough.
All right, a 20.
These
You
rolls.
probably have a good idea.
Okay. Is this a weighted pressure trap? Is there any way to kind of? Can I? I've thought of this.
You do not give me an investigation check for that specifically, and then
Yes,
we'll move
I do.
on to the NPCs.
Oh,
Yeah, you don't necessarily see any levers or anything that you think will compress.
can I? Okay. Well, can I fit this harp in my bag of holding?
It is clutched by a cherub near the ceiling.
Shit. I'm way too small.
Uh,
I'm going
you
to
could
climb
try
it.
and scamper up. Yeah, give me
Yes.
an athletics check.
Check.
Can I help him at all?
You can have
With my
advantage on
height?
that athletics check as Onyx kind of steps around and boosts you up. We'll get to the other hallways in a moment. I'll rearrange you guys' characters so it's
Athletics.
makes more sense.
Where is my athletics? Uh-oh. Okay, no, thanks for the advantage. Hang on.
Okay,
First one
with a
was
16.
a nat one.
Yeah, so the first one, you see that Ronnie is just like dangling off of his arms, and his little rat butt and tail and feet are just kind of kicking in the air, and then you kind of
He's
scoop
very-
him up under the shoulder and just.
He's very portly. He does not have any sort of physical aptitude, especially eating nothing but cheese and, whatever else.
That's the best diet. But you manage to get up to a section where Ronnie grasps the harp that is set in stone. And with that, we're going to move over to the east hallway. The sound... I'll start playing more spooky music. Actually, no. Yeah, that'll play over. You hear the sound of water and some light paddling, Guruth. As Yakor, Zaka, and Kepra round the corner, and you cross behind them to see that the hallway is absolutely packed and continues for quite a distance.
Nice.
The hallway is absolutely packed with reveal areas. Roll 20 is hard. Anybody who's very good at roll 20. You
Let's
see is absolutely
go.
littered with hordes of undead creatures just milling and shuffling about, and it goes beyond your dark vision.
All right.
Is this something that you would like to participate in?
Absolutely. I would
Okay,
love to
so-
punch some zombies.
We've split the party into 3. In a moment, I will get it. So it is an initiative-based section, but we'll just do this first round. You see Yakor kind of take out his revolver, and then also what looks to be an extra kind of like an extra 6-chamber attachment that is already filled with bullets, and you just see him start firing into the crowd as then Zaka goes charging in and starts swatting creatures and bodies left and right, taking hacks and chunks off of these undead creatures. And Pepper also goes charging in next to him and kind of laughing to herself as they are having a field day. And you see Yakor is hitting headshot after headshot after headshot as he is just firing away. And he looks back towards you and goes, "Oh, sorry, would you like to step in front of me and go join the fray?"
Absolutely. I would love
Sounds
to.
good. You can move your normal character speed.
Sick. 10, 20. I'm in range of this horde here, correct?
Yes, you are. You go looking towards the horde, and you can start
Alright.
taking swings if you'd like.
I am absolutely going to do that. First attack is going to be... it's probably going to miss. That is a 11.
A horde of zombies? You absolutely hit. As you just run up to the first creature, and you
Nice.
just hit your fist straight through its chest, and it just begins to collapse. Go ahead, roll damage.
That is un momento, senor. 10 damage on the first one.
10 damage. Okay. Sounds good.
And I'll just do one strike for the first one, bonus action. So I will punch again. That is a 12 this time.
A 12 also hits, so roll damage once again.
One more time. And this time it is 11 damage.
Alrighty. So you go, you take one pot shot, and then you do a spinning back kick, and you knock the head off of another creature. The 3 of you are doing pretty well in this first round of combat. I'm just going to bring up... Let's see. Okay. Each of you is going to get
Would you like...
attacked. That is only a 12 to hit you. A natural
Nope.
1 to hit Zaka, and a 21 to hit Pepra. You see that you and Zaka are kind of just clearing through this mass of creatures, and Zephyra gets a few scratches and scrapes, but nothing that seems to be... Just advanced to back. Nothing that seems to be terribly fatal. Like every once in a while, some undead creature grabs an aspect of her hair, or manages to get a scratch across her face. But the 3 of you are enjoying some primitive carnal pleasure as you're just going through this mass and just unleashing everything that you have. Yakor is also firing off. We transport to the more calm west hallway with Swift and Lore, as the 2 of you are slowly approaching this ethereal figure at the end of the hallway. You can move your
Would
full
they have heard
movement
all the
speed if you
gunfire
like.
though?
And you guys start to hear, everyone starts to hear gunfire and fighting in the eastern hall. And laughing. Doesn't seem like pain, it seems like enjoyment. Swift, what would you like to do?
He's going to move. Thinking maybe that the hallway is somewhat similar, possibly. He's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Okay.
Up to there.
The figure, now being about 10 feet away, looks up.
Mm-hmm.
You see empty sockets for eyes, just pitch blackness, and the sound of roaring, kind of crashing waves surrounds his voice as he looks to you. He says, "Who goes there?"
My name is Swift Path. I'm not looking to cause any harm, just gain some information.
Beyond this hallway, there lies consequences. You do not look to cause harm. You do not know what is behind me.
Well, if harm must be caused, then I will cause harm to those who harm me. You, however, I will leave alone.
I will not let you pass. For the safety of others. Lori kind of like creeps next to you. This is just a spirit. Trapped, probably serving some purpose. If this place really was created by Poseidon, we need to know what's on the other side of that door.
Do you want to take the lead now, or do you want me to continue taking the lead?
I think you're better equipped at it than I am.
Fair enough.
You are still at half health?
I am. Actually, I have. Unless we got a short rest, I'm currently at 11.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking of taking that healing potion
Before
with me
you
here,
do
too.
that, Lore is going to... However, you look a little bit worse for wear, so... May Poseidon turn your nets full, and she kind of grazes your arm. Or sorry, they kind of graze your arm, and you get back 11 hit points as they cast a second level Cure Wounds.
Nice.
And you
Thank
get a
you.
little bit drier. Honda and Dellen are kind of approaching the back flank. This looks to be a very old, kind of an ancient fisherman. Stands in the middle of the hallway ahead of you. Are you looking to continue forward, Swift?
Yes, he will.
As you step forward, just for this tight-knit group, before we bounce around, I'd like you to roll initiative. That is a 19. Alrighty. So you see that the fisherman angles his head kind of back and seems to go from some sedentary state and begins to move his arms. And the large pike at his side points downwards towards you in an aggressive stance, but it is your turn. What would you like to do?
I didn't mean to. If I rolled again, I'm sorry. No, I didn't. Good. Let me go to my actions. Let's see here. He is definitely not within 5 feet. Swift. He's going to come around, bounce off the wall, come out right over here, and just hold on to a sword in each hand, ready to defend himself. So if he is attacked, he will attack
Okay, so
back.
you're holding an attack.
So I'm holding
All right,
an attack.
sounds good. Next up in initiative after that on this side of the room is actually this gentleman. And you see that the pike or the harpoon kind of shifts and goes to stab at you. So I'll get you to roll an attack for me.
Okay. 24.
Okay, that certainly hits this creature. And also that is a 25 on you.
Yeah, well, that will definitely hit me.
Do you get sneak attack?
I don't think I get sneak attack.
Yeah, you don't.
Huh?
So it'll be 10 points of piercing damage to this creature. You see that the harpoon is coming and you quickly slash at the forearm of this spectral figure. You see that it does a reasonable amount of damage. There does not appear to be any specific resistances, even though this is a ghostly figure, and the harpoon comes and stabs into your upper thigh, Swift, dealing 9 points of piercing damage. And you see that the fisherman hooks and pulls the harpoon back, grappling you with the hook in place. And is going to pull with all of his might and throw you against the wall to the left, as it just immediately exerts a bunch of energy. So you just give me a strength saving throw, we'll say. You are slammed
14.
against the next wall as you just hear the figure go, "Do not know what you trifle with," and throws you up, and you crash against the wall for an additional 7 points of bludgeoning damage. And it is now Lore's turn, I believe. Lore is going to cast Spirit Guardians on themselves. Let's do a aura. Because they are a follower of Poseidon, it's going to be a blue aura. And moves in towards the fisherman. The fisherman having to make wisdom saving throw at the beginning of their turn, I believe. But Lore appears to just be around. Actually, they don't even get that close. They get that close. Honda is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, get a melee. And Dalen's also going to run up to your aid. Honda is going to... Who goes first? Oh, they both go at the exact same time. Lovely.
Interesting.
Delen is going to take out their battle axe and try and take a swing at this creature with their first attack. Actually hits a natural 20, so they are going to pump a bunch of levels of smite into it because they are a paladin. So I believe they will make that, instead of 2d8 additional plus, I believe like a d8 because they have shields, it'll be 68 worth of damage. So natural.
Oh yeah.
68. 27 points of damage plus their strength modifier. They do 31 points of damage as you see this crackling bit of radiant divine energy strike across this fisherman. Holy shit. Okay. Immediately causing the fisherman to kind of like drop down to a knee and look towards, goes, "You think that you follow him, but you don't." And Honda is going to attempt to... Actually, Honda's going to do a good thing. He's going to rush up to you and he's going to cast Cure Wounds on you at 2nd level. Swift, because you are the melee fighter right now and he's a cleric. And you receive 20 hit points back, maximum for Cure Wounds. That is that section of the room. We are going to go back as we see that Ronnie is clambering for the harp in the other room with Onyx. What would the two of you like to do with Faradan?
Well, upon hearing a bunch of gunfire, I'm reminded of the last time I didn't make decisions and got a bit regretful. Ronnie's dangling, so between the two of you, I'm gonna tell you I got a scroll in this pouch. If I die, one of you's got to write a few words to my son. I only got 15 words left. You tell him what happened to me. Got it?
Sure.
Good. And then I'm gonna run toward where the gunfire is happening, because I
Okay.
care more about Guruth than the harp.
Alrighty.
I
So
only
yeah,
got
using
20 feet though.
you only have 20 feet of movement.
Yeah,
You should have 30. As a
I think I
tiefling.
should too, but that's what it says on
You
the
have you
sheet.
have 30 as a tiefling. That's silly to say you only have 20 feet.
Okay, great. Thanks.
And
Yeah,
then
I'm
you can use your action to move as well if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I'm pretty sure only halflings and other small creatures have between 20 to 25. So
Yeah,
everything.
just a tiefling gunslinger suffering from dwarfism.
You're
It is
over-encumbered.
God.
Too many
Like yeah,
guns.
yeah, the fantasy dwarf, yeah. Okay, so Ronnie, as you are now don't have like necessarily the support, you are kind of clinging to this rock wall. What would you like to do?
Pull myself up.
Okay.
Yeah.
you-
Am
you
I
can
not?
do
Am
that,
I
that's
not
fine.
trying? Am I not trying to get to the harp still? I still need to
You're
get
there. You're clutched right next to it, so it's within arm's reach. If you choose to try and grab it.
I don't know what you're gonna tell me to roll for, so I'm trying to think if it would be better to get my. Is there like a ledge I can stand on at least?
You have okay footholds. You have okay footholds.
Where I'm at right now,
Where
so
you're
I
at
can
right
I
now.
can have 3 points of contact. Safety
Yes.
first.
Yes, you can have 3 points of contact. Remember, whenever you're hiking or going through the mountains, have 3 points of contact so you don't fall off.
Hiking and if you're doing
Indeed.
any sort of labor work, pulling anything heavy, it's very important. Yeah, so I'm going to grab the heart then from where I'm at.
Okay, give me a charisma saving throw.
Oh, it's cursed. Shit. Should have used detect magic. Oh well. Charisma?
Yes, charisma saving throw. So
Gotcha.
very good for you.
It is very good for me. It's not a -1 to get me a 0. But if I roll shit. Excuse me.
That was a 9. Okay. As you touch this golden harp, initially it's cold. And then it starts to heat up and heat up and heat up in your hand. And it gets to the point that you think that it is going to start burning. But the pins and needles that you start to get in your hand transfer down to your arm and your body, and then eventually start to encompass your vision. You realize that you're having difficulty letting go of this harp, and you are transported to a different place in time and space, where seems to be council of booming voices talking amongst each other in the clouds. Just, fine, leave it there and see if they're foolish enough to give it a try. But if not, they can come back and they can see. And then the vision cuts out and you explode off of the wall as you are unable to handle a connection to Mount Olympus.
Yep.
You take 19 points of lightning damage, and you are thrown back
Oof.
to the feet of Onyx as you go, and you get slide and tumble and turn and just skid towards your compatriot.
Oops. Hang on. Quick maths. That's not right.
Righty. We're going to move. Oh,
Yeah.
Go ahead. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, I'm gonna look at. I apologize, I've forgotten. Faradin.
Onyx? Or
No,
Faradin?
Faradin.
Okay.
Faradin. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I just look at him and I'm like, yeah, that didn't go so well. I'm hurting.
I will keep investigating, my friend. You go help. There seems to be combat going on in either corridor. I can sort this out.
Yeah.
Speaking of combat in another corridor, Gurth, Zaka, and Pepera are covered in blood and guts of very long dead
Yeah.
creatures making their way through. You have another turn of combat as you guys are clearing through this just absolute horde together. And we're seeing this glorious montage of bisections, vivisections, decapitations, lots of cool like spinning kicks and punches. You guys have made it 5 feet of what feels like maybe a minute of fighting.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
Do you need my initiative
Nope.
now?
We're just gonna go off
Or
of
can I just
off
keep-
of what you're gonna do.
All right, cool. Interesting question. Can I grapple or can I not? Because
You
it's a
can
horde.
grapple
I
a
know
specific
horde.
creature out of the horde. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try and
roll
do that.
athletics check.
Athletics. That is going to be a. Where is that? 15.
Okay. Okay. With a 0, you manage to grab a random zombie out of the horde, and you see this creature just its head kind of like sloshed back, its neck not really properly attached, but just kind of going back and forth towards you, just towards your face. But you have a good hold of it.
Okay. And I'm now going to spend a key point to do Flurry of Blows, and I'm going to attack. I also get advantage because they're grappled, and I have the grappler feat. So that is a dirty 20 to hit for the first one.
That's the name of a channel.
It is indeed. 11 damage for the first one.
You just fully separate this creature. Are you using it as a human shield, or you're hitting it specifically? You just punch straight through its chest from like the neck down.
Yeah, just like straight through, and then I just like toss it aside, I guess.
Grab its spine, you rip it out, and you move on to the next thing. Ready.
That is another dirty
Absolutely.
20. This one was not at advantage, though, because I'm no longer grappling. And that is going to be 9 damage for the second
damage. Okay. So the three of you keep making your way through. Zaka and Pepra are cleaving at the same rate that they were, just kind of spattering blood, and they seem to be still enjoying themselves and kind of getting enthralled with all this. That is a natural 20 to hit you from the horde, and a 6.
Oof.
So you, as you're doing this flurry of blows and kind of spinning around, there's a brief moment where you kind of slip on a little bit of blood, and you kind of back up into a bunch of moving arms and teeth, and you start to get bits of your flesh chunked off, taking 16 points of slashing damage as you get kind of torn asunder by these two different groups that are kind of in the middle. Zaka and
as it kind of like bites in my shoulder, I just slam a shoulder back, just like push it off of me, and then spin
you
around.
Crack it against the wall, and it kind of drops down. You see that Pepra has took a similar amount of damage, also getting a natural 20 scored on her, and she is now bloodied.
Man, I thought you weren't rolling
Yes,
well.
they are. I'm rolling well now that we're in combat. It's when people need to make saves.
Great.
It's only for the Yakor is still kind of firing off. You can give me an intelligence check at the end of this round.
Okay. Yes, intelligence is definitely his strong suit. Yeah, that tracks. Do you want that now, then? Yeah, that's a solid 3.
This is so much fun. This could go on forever. And then we're going to go back to the far left corridor with Swift starting off the initiative again, facing off against this fisherman.
All right. Obviously, he's going to attack
Alrighty.
back.
Oh, with a
17.
17. That does hit this creature. 22 points of
22.
damage. Okay, this creature is now bloody after taking 2 very nice solid hits. Kind of almost dropping to a knee. It still has you grappled with its harpoon. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Yeah, I get another attack. No, wait a minute. That's one attack per round. No, doesn't look like anything at the moment. He's just going to give a menacing look and try and just really trying. Maybe I can get myself free.
That would require an action. Yeah, I don't believe that rogues can escape.
He already took one.
Go ahead.
So he's just going to just growl menacingly, like hiss a little bit, basically be his little cat self.
Lovely. And then as the fisherman kind of looks towards Swift, not really the face kind of changing from the determination, you see that the harpoon gets kind of like dug out a little bit, and then he takes a large kind of sickle looking hook, large kind of fishing hook, and tries to dig it into your back. And in the position that you're in, it is advantageous for him to do so, as he uses his ability catch and release. That is a 19 to hit.
No, that hits.
You feel a terrible pain in your back, and then you see an impression on the studded leather armor come through your chest, Swift, as you take 33 points of piercing damage as it rips out of your body. I believe that was its action, though. How are you looking?
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. Death saving throw.
Okay, so as Swift falls unconscious on the ground, Lore currently has Spirit Guardians up, which appear to just be little tridents that are flying through the air, and it appears as though her magic is not affecting this disciple, this individual. Unfortunately, it appears as though they're not currently affected. Lore's kind of panicking a little bit. Dellen and Honda are going to try and take swipes. Dellen first, because she is the badass paladin and rolls a natural 19 because she rolls incredibly well. And she's going to pump another level of smite into this creature. That is 10 points of damage total. And then is going to take another swipe level characters and misses. Honda, this happens from the audience's perspective. Honda looks towards Lore. Goes, "Are we done playing nice now?" And Lore kind of looks, "Yes, they serve their purpose. We can move on. It's fine." He goes, "All right." And he's going to take his mace and try and hit the fisherman as opposed to helping Swift. And he hits, doing an additional 7 points of damage. After that, it is now Ronnie and Onyx's turn. What would the two of you like to do?
Onyx, would you like to go first? Because I've kind of made up my mind for very little.
You've made up your mind for very little?
Yeah, Ronnie. Okay, well, I'll just go. Ronnie's hurting pretty well. I'm going to. Ronnie's very squishy.
I don't have very much to help you with, but
Oh, that's okay.
yeah,
Ronnie
I'll go
will
ahead.
pull out a piece of cheese, and I will heal myself.
Oh, okay, lovely.
You're gonna heal yourself with cheese. I'm like talking as I'm running.
I'm gonna heal myself with cheese. It's fine.
Still kind of lying down on an elbow, just munches.
Yeah, he is.
Much
Ronnie is not moved.
It was a cheese of cure wounds, I believe.
Yes, it was, and I got the lowest possible roll out of it, which is
It was not your finest selection
No.
of
Got
cheese.
pretty beaten up.
It was one of the older pieces.
it's a little soggy. It was sitting in my back pocket while we went out. So.
All right, and Onyx, as you turn the corner, you see a bloodbath and just this strange, almost appearing to be never-ending fight. As the hallway itself goes on for what looks like eternity, as there's just a roving mass of undead. Guruth, Sokka, and Pepra are just sloshing through this mass of bodies together. What would you like to do?
Can I see anything that might cause like a wall to close?
It's
Or
interesting.
like a button to trigger. If this is never ending, I kind of just want to cut them at the source and get to the others.
You can give me a perception check to see if you see any structural issues with any of the walls.
Perception. Of course, it's
Unfortunately, as you
you
squint your eyes, it's difficult to make out anything past the sprays of blood and human viscera.
In this case, Yakor is considered an ally. I can shoot above, right?
Yep. In this situation, you can both be like sideways shooting, target practice style, or sorry, competition style, as you're both lining your bodies up with the gun barrel. It's just kind of like maybe not looking at each other, but just kind of taking a shot in unison.
It just feels so useless. There's got to be something else. Does it look like they're doing damage to them? Like it?
There's a
they're
lot of
going
bodies on the
down?
ground, and they're clearing through, but they're clearing through very slowly. And Yakor kind of looks a little frustrated.
All right. Well, I might as well fire now until I can maybe make another perception check later.
Shoot your shot.
That's a nat 20.
Woo! All right. Roll that damage. Okay, 11 points of damage to the horde. I believe the first horde is cleared. With that, there appears to be more and more and more as the hallway continues.
Did that end up doing the crit? Or do I have to
I
click it
believe
twice?
so. I said it had
Yeah.
piercing critical
Oh, I
damage as
see.
an additional.
Gotcha.
It didn't add your dex mod for some reason. But...
Do I need to do something for that?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it if we go into combat with another group. Speaking of another group, I believe we will go up to the top left and resolve for the audience as the scene cuts again to the fisherman and the three characters.
Just before
Right.
you go to that, though, because that was a nat 20, I imagine Gruth probably didn't really even know I was coming, and then all of a sudden a blast fired pretty much right over his head to that horde and just like totally annihilated. So I don't know if there's a reaction from Gruth on that one at all.
Yeah, so I'll snap back thinking that it's Yakor. So at first it's like a withering, like, what the fuck, man? Look back, and then I see it's you, and I just nod, go back to swinging.
Probably lined up 3 or 4 zombie heads in one shot and just pierced
Nice.
through all of them. You're like, sick. The top left conversation or the situation that is going on, Lore is going to attempt to blast at this fisherman with Eldritch Blast and misses both shots. Dellen is going to try and smite. Dellen rolls well every damn time and hits every damn time. And she's going to pump in another second level smite into that attack. 6, 10, 14. Doing 14 points of damage on the first attack. Next one is another 7 points of damage. Honda is going to take his mace and take a couple more swipes. Actually, one swipe because he's a cleric. NPCs fighting bad guys. This other creature looks like it's on death's door. We will
Holy moly!
go back to
I rolled a
We
nat
will-
20 on my death saving throw.
lovely Swift. You see the very first death save that you make. You see Honda above you as your eyes kind of flicker open, your fur covered in blood. You stand up at the beginning of your turn with 1 hit point. What would you like to do?
Okay, hold on. Oh, come on. This thing is getting in my way. Hold on.
Good.
Okay. No. Stop it. You bastard! Doubt that works,
All right,
though.
that is an 11 to hit. Unfortunately, that does miss this creature. You still have your bonus action and your movement. Half your movement because you stood up.
Well, technically, whoopsie. I forgot that doesn't let it go away. Technically, I do have a bonus action that will let me, move half of my movement, which would be the, what is it? The cunning action, right?
Yes, cunning action. You can use your movement. You can disengage, or you can hide. Are the 3 options for cunning action.
I'm gonna disengage and just move right there.
Very smart. As you try to take a stab, and the blood on your sword kind of makes it a little bit slippery in your paws, you kind of take a swipe, making the fisherman off balance, and you kind of scurry to the southeast, getting behind Dellen, as Dellen, Lore, and Honda all look a little surprised. But Lore kind of gives you a nice nod. Okay. Let's do Guruth. What you doing?
Oh, you already know what I'm doing. I'm swinging.
Alrighty.
That's going to be a 18 to hit for the first attack.
Okay, that hits.
Oh, yeah. 11 damage.
11 more damage.
consistent
All right,
with
sounds
damage
good.
today. And I will do just my regular unarmed strike for bonus action.
Lovely.
And that is a 10 to hit.
10, believe, just barely hits for a horde.
Wow.
They are all zombies. They are all very
Yes,
slow
that's fair.
moving.
They're slow, rotting flesh. Okay, and that is 12 damage for the second one.
Okay. Again, clearing line by line. You guys make your way through. I'll do Onyx and then Ronnie next.
I'll get a little closer. Oh, I didn't see where any traps were. Oh well. I'll get up there with you.
Okay.
Let's fire again. Plug your ears. Oh, it's a 6. That's a misfire. Oh no.
You say plug your ears, then you just hear click.
Well then, I guess I'll take a couple more steps back and figure out what's going on again.
Alrighty, sounds good. I think it's is it an action or is it a bonus action fix?
I think you said it was a bonus action, but it says action on the sheet.
Okay, it's an action to fix it then. Sorry, Matthew Mercer. All right, actually no, it's my game. Bonus action. Go ahead, give it a try. Do a Tinker's check.
Laying
Take
down
that.
the law.
Take that.
Sticking it to the man.
The man himself. Yes, very much.
Tinker's check. Where do
Yeah, so it'd be
find
your
that?
intelligence modifier plus your proficiency.
Nope.
Alrighty,
That's a 6.
does that pass the threshold to fix?
Whoa.
I think it was a DC 8.
DC 8. So, unless anyone would like to use any point of inspiration that they have left over, you try to stick what looks to be just kind of like a thin pin into the firing chamber, and as you're moving it around, the barrel shifts and it cracks off inside of it, and you're like, that's gonna take a while to get out. Fuck. You don't have access to your firearm until you finish a short rest, I believe.
That's correct. I'm cursing myself and just grumbling and stepping right back behind your core and shame, shame, shame.
Yeah, he looks at you with a look of signature look of superiority. Goes, well, that's why you should get something finely crafted. And he takes a couple pot shots. Also misfiring his gun.
Well, let's see you fix yours then.
And then as he like kind of takes it, you see in like a fluid motion, flips out the revolving chamber and then takes another one and slaps it on and gets it fixed once again. As this happens, Girth is attacked by the Horde. That's a 14 to hit.
That does not hit.
Zaka finally takes some damage, but he takes half damage. He's currently raging. And Pepra does not get hit. Yakor kind of shouts out. Goes, I don't know if this is the best plan of attack. Perhaps we should all fall back and think about this a little further. This seems to go on forever.
Seems to me like we're making headway.
And we'll see. It looks like Zaka is a little bit too engaged to hear anything, and Pepra begins to take steps back. As for the northwest corner at the top of initiative, it is now Swift's turn.
All right. Watch out, dog. So what Swift is going to do is bounce right here. Smacky, smacky. I don't think that's going to work.
You attempt for a strike and you miss, unfortunately.
And then use his cunning action to get back over there.
Okay, sounds good. So you take a run up, go for a stab, poke. Fisherman kind of parries it, and then you go back. Dellen then looks over towards you and then takes a crack into the side of the fisherman's head. Drops him down to the ground. Making him appear to be unconscious and then slowly turn into a light mist of fog. The three of them look at each other and they look at you, Swift. Are you going to wait for your friends, or are you planning on coming with us? Is what Lore says.
You know what? It sounds like they're having fun on their own because he can hear a little bit of what's going on over there, I'm sure. I'll stick with you guys, but I think I might need a potion first.
Do you have one on you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah, feel free to take it. The four of you proceed to the next room. After you take your potion. Ronnie, what would you like to do?
Oops. The 7, not the 4, sorry.
Absolutely.
Faradan still, is he attempting to grab that harp?
Oh, his turn has gone.
Oh,
And you're
sorry.
watching him? Yeah, and you're watching him?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Did you roll and not say anything, or did I miss it?
I've been thinking about things in the back of my head. I've been announcing it. I'm
kind of just gonna watch him. I want to see what he's doing.
Okay, you see. Give me a perception check.
Okay. Well, because I witnessed what happened. If he succeeds, I kind of want to see what happened.
Yeah, let's see.
Perception too.
2?
No, sorry.
Oh, plus 2. Okay,
Plus
here we go.
11.
An 11. Okay, you see Faradan kind of take out his loot and look at it and put the loot back on his back. He goes down on both knees and he looks up and he begins to say something, but you do not make out what he is saying. He's kind of in a bit of a praying stance with his head bowed low and looks up, says something else. The cherub releases the harp and he snatches it out of the air, pockets it. What would you like to do for your turn, Ronnie?
What should I do? Oh, hey, Baradon, buddy.
He just like turns around and then does like the me gesture.
You see anyone else? He ain't talking to Zeus. So, I took the first hit there. You got any pick-me-ups on you?
He takes out his lute and just kind of goes, wet cold rat, you'll be dry soon, and casts Healing Word.
There we go.
First level. You get 7 hit points back.
Perfect.
And you see he's kind of striding forward. Very, very happy with himself. That was, you just kind of like talked. We'll say that was your bonus action.
Okay. So I still have all my, sorry, that was 7?
It was 7 hit points that he just gave you.
Yeah.
With Healing Word.
Okay, that's a lot better than where I was. I guess I will make my way out. Yeah, I don't know. Because I couldn't hear the conversation going on either of the hallways, so Ronnie has no idea aside from just rapid gunshots going off.
Yep, that have kind of like made it difficult to hear anything else going on.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I'm going to go down the east corridor, I guess, if this is like my current position right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do I have to check for traps, or can I surmise where?
You have been. Onyx is there. Onyx can point them out to you. You're fine.
Okay. Solid. So I guess I will. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I will go up to here. Or no, to here. Because rats can only move 25 in 2 feet.
Absolutely. You're peeking your head around the corner. There is hundreds of undead bodies all sloshing together. Nope. And Guruth and Zaka are fighting. Yeah, and that's what you say. You go, nope. You have your action left. What would you like to do?
Can I use my action to move back?
Yeah, you can. So you just immediately go, nope, and you just turn around. You go the other way. Alrighty.
I'll set myself
Guruth and Zaka. Guruth, you're still planning to fight?
So I'm assuming I saw Pepra back off, correct?
Yeah.
You also witnessed my gun misfire and me retreat.
Yeah. I'll look over at Zaka and go, so Tiny, are we gonna keep pushing, or should we fall back with the rest of them?
He just kind of like yells like "God!" as he's just in a fucking rage, not really like listening to anybody.
And I go, all right. Crack my neck, and I just get back into it.
Okay, you go back into it. We're gonna assume that you're gonna do the consistent damage that you've done every turn. Onyx.
Actually, sorry, real quick. I just rolled a nat 20.
Alrighty, so roll that damage.
Yes, sir. Of course, it's a 1. So that's going to be 2. So that's 7 damage. Amazing crit. but I get key points because of my headband.
Yes, you do. Wonderful. The Miyagi-Do
Now-
headband.
Am I correct in assuming I can like overfill my key points with that?
No,
Because
you just have
no?
you have a limit of key points. So
Okay.
you just top back up.
Okay, that's slightly redundant, but that's fine.
Oh, it'll be better if you get to the higher levels.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Thank you.
Okay. You guys are sloshing through this fight. Onyx, what would you like to do?
Well, I might as well try and. Well, actually, I saw Ronnie come around the corner, right?
Yeah, and then immediately turn back.
Gurth, we're gonna try and find her, save her, something. Swift is gone. I'm taking off. Are you coming or not? And I'll just start following Ronnie over here.
I suppose.
Okay. As the four of you begin to separate and follow, or sorry, the three of you begin to separate and follow, there you appear to hear some conversation of Yakor trying to rein Zaka in. He's currently preoccupied. Faradan kind of continues walking past. It looks like he's following at a distance. The three of you, Swift. You are joined by three members of the Hall of Poseidon. Get some, not combat music, but maybe like some crashing ocean. Some nice ambiance. When you step through this wall of water, it appears as though it's going to lead you to another hallway. And instead, it is like washing mud out of your eyes immediately. You feel like you are covered in kelp and soot and dirt, and it is not comfortable, as maybe your hair's in the way, and you begin to kind of claw away at it. And similar to the rest of your compatriots, they also kind of claw away at their eyes until their vision refocuses and they are in a different room. You are low on health. You are surrounded by three people you do not know terribly well, and you are in a 20-foot by 20-foot room. There appear to be inscriptions slowly undulating, picking up in luminosity, going and fading back out, that are in a series of different scripts, different languages. What languages do you speak?
Let's see here. Common, Thieves' Cant, and Undercommon.
Script is very foreign to you, and it appears as though Honda and Dallin kind of step to the side, and Lore walks forward. At the center of a room is a single marble pedestal, and almost like moonlight shining from the ceiling, there is a beam of light that is placed upon a single conch in the middle of the room. There's a brief moment where Lore is reading the script on the wall. I begin walking towards the conch immediately. Do you do anything?
He's going to get between Lore and the conch and say, "Is this safe? Are you sure this is safe?"
Yes, I'm entirely sure that this is safe. This is the reason why we're here.
This conch.
Yes.
If that's what you're here to retrieve, by all means, but be mindful of any traps. He's going to do an investigation real quick just to look around.
Okay.
With an 18.
Okay, with an 18, as you look around, the pedestal does not appear to have any weight mechanisms, but you see that there is, it's like glowing, maybe vibrating, this conch from the center of the room. It is not sitting on the pedestal, it is floating in the air. It is some sort of magical implement that Lore is in the process of walking directly towards.
Swift will pass this information on to Lori and look to the other two members of the party to see what they have to say about it.
Dellen looks worried. Honda is pretty stone-faced, and Lore is very excited. They don't seem to say anything. They just kind of keep their hands on their weapons. Maybe they're looking at you a little bit extra.
He's going to follow Lori like side by side, almost like a shadow, and try and make sure that nothing spectacularly stupid happens.
As you shadow Lore walks up to the conch, grasps it in either of their hands, brings it to their lips, blows into the conch. And that reverberation is heard by the rest of your party members as the three of you enter into the room. You see is a square room with a single diocese, this conch now held by Lore, with Swift kind of quizzically looking towards it. You see the script on the wall all begin to illuminate and solidify. You hear different languages going on simultaneously, and none of them really finding purchase until you switch and translate to something that matches the wavelength that you're used to thinking in. You hear a booming voice, and you realize what has been engraved on these walls. The world of mortals strives towards godhood without deliberation or debate. They clamored and begged for the gods to walk with them, to learn as children might before laboring for their own offspring in turn. They took our gifts, our presents, as novelties and tools for their own machinations, coveting our power and our domain with the utmost treachery. The works of mortals aim for the erosion of my existence, my love, and the powers over their realm. My chosen people will return with our structures and gifts to the infinite sea. My name will echo through time till it is warped and twisted through word and scripture, until only the true apostles remain. Those who follow my guidance and my teachings regardless of cloth or scroll. They shall be those who inherit this realm. And there will only be damnation and blood for the descendants of the wicked. Descendants of the coveters, the assassinators, and the apathetic. This is my promise. Call upon me when my legacy has matured. You hear this reverberating. And Lore looks with astonishment and joy as a pinpoint of light begins opening to what looks to be a deep subterranean ocean filled with water and creatures and fish that none of you recognize or understand. The portal itself kind of shifts towards a city beneath the waves as a similar beacon of light illuminates from the center of it. As Poseiden has been called back to the prime material plane. And that is the end of tonight's session. As you guys successfully get God to come back and deliver justice to the prime material plane, whatever that may or may not mean, which you're all very unsure about. Oh.
Man, I love cliffhangers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, does that mean we make it back?
That means, well, all of you are still intact. Lore kind of turns to their compatriots, places the conch back in the floating kind of pillar, looks to Dellen and looks to Honda and goes, return this to the clerics in the High Order. I'm going to go be with God, and steps into the portal. And the two of them just kind of look at you and go, I think we should get out of here. Just make our way back. Report our findings.
I agree.
All right.
Get our food out of it, then.
So, it appears as though everyone has survived. It appears as though Faradin has made it off with the harp.
Fuck.
And maybe made it back to Kritz, his associate. And the military squadron that was deployed, none of them got killed, and you guys ended up not killing each other. But you guys
I don't
were
know.
able
Onyx
to...
and Ronnie probably would have taken Faradin down for that
Hmm.
harp.
I was already like immediately suspicious of him, even pre-harp. So yeah, I luckily wouldn't have let him just walk out of the room untussled either.
I mean, I feel like I would have stuck to
Eh.
him, but I guess he gave me the sleight of hand because Ronnie is not strong.
He's a very, very slippery figure. He's very good at talking his way through things. But if we pick up this group again, then you guys will definitely be higher level, and you will have learned a thing or two, as I believe you will all get back to civilization with a payment of 2,000 gold pieces.
Hey, cash money.
Also with the knowledge that Poseidon's promise has now been called upon. All right.
As
Incredible.
real
stuff.
quick, as we're leaving the dungeon, I kind of go over to Onyx and I go, you're all right. You're one of the good ones. If you ever find yourself in need of a hand, let me know. I got your
Made
back.
you think I was one of the bad ones?
I never said I thought you were one of the bad ones. I just I don't trust easily. I was the runt of the litter growing up, so I couldn't even rely on my own bloodline. They just tossed me aside, so I learned to fight for myself. But it's good to know there are people I can trust out there.
Well, I do need a lot of gold, so maybe we'll be going on another adventure.
And with that, that is where we're going to wrap tonight's session of Poseidon's Promise, with the storyline being finished and now me having a big bad guy in my next campaign. So thank you all very much for contributing to the lore as
Yay.
Poseidon makes his return to do something.
Great job tonight, Eddie.
Thank you so much, and
Yes.
thank you to all the players. Thank you to everybody that was watching. Thank you to our producer, Karis Sophia, and
Thank you, Karis.
Thank
until
you.
next time. Love each other. Is that
Yep.
the tagline?
No. We got okay. And thank you to Eddie for starting us off on our first community stream ×2. Thank you to the Twitch viewers who are watching the stream live, even without Kevin being here. This is a great community. Thank you to the YouTube viewers in the future. If you made it this far, please hit that like button because we're pretty sure you did. So if you would like to be a part of our community and our games, please do join us in Discord. I'm not sure where that information is on YouTube, but it's in chat right now for Twitch. And until next time, please be nice to each other. And good night.
Night.
Good night.
Bye.